we welcome you. Spirits of blood and of bone. Spirits of the north, south, east, and west. Of wind, earth, water, and fire. Of all things and no things, we come here before you to learn things as yet unknown. May the heat of her candle warm us all. May the light of her flame guide us. May the love of her blessing protect us. Here is the boundary of the circle. Naught but love shall enter in. Naught but love shall emerge from within. Charge this by your powers, old ones. Breathe in. Breathe out.
Come with your full self, or don't come at all. I didn't get here, no, by acting like I was small. Yeah, it's the age of the feminine.
So we just watched the short Blyth by Liana. Congratulations, Liana. Liana is one of the 2024 semifinalists at the CMCS Wall of Film Festival. And today we're screening Liana's short, and right after we're going to be screening Mónica Parreira's short as well, The Tide. Please hold on to all your reflections, your thoughts, your questions till the end of the next screening, The Tide. Right now, I would love everybody to introduce themselves. Please let us know who you are, which city you're logging in from. Who would like to start? Liana, I'll start with you.
Hi there, I'm Liana and I'm logging in from Byron Bay, Australia.
Thank you, Liana. Mónica?
Hi, I'm Mónica Parreira. In this moment, I'm in Lisbon.
You are in Lisbon?
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. So am I. Okay, Sarah?
Hello, good morning. My name is Sarah, as you just mentioned, and I'm logging in from London. And I'm an actress from the film The Tide.
Looking forward to watching it next. Swati?
Hi everyone, I'm Swati Chugh and I'm logging in from Delhi, India. I'm a writer, director, producer, and I've made 14 short films and I'm working on my debut feature right now.
Oh my gosh. And Swati was one of our top finalists last year, and she co-produced a documentary, fantastic feminist documentary, which was with London, UK, and she has a fantastic team there, very proud, and thank you so much for joining us. So right now, we're gonna watch The Tide together, and then we're gonna get back to celebrating your films. So we'll be back in approximately 9 minutes. Monica, how long is the film?
7 something.
7? Okay. Okay, it's gonna
Around 8
be
minutes.
8. Okay. Yeah, okay, plus or minus. Okay, so we'll see you shortly.
Can you pass me the bowl, please? Have you ever made soup? I used to make this soup for him all the time when he was a boy, and he used to love it. You'll be good at it one day, and you'll warm up to it. One day, everybody does.
There's no rush.
Then you're just going to be wasting my son's time. Look, it is our duty as women to build a family. Now, I understand that is new and that you're nervous. But really, that is your job. This will help you with your nerves.
You want me to take these?
Not often, but enough to make a difference.
What was that about at dinner last night?
Oh, she wants me to leave the shop.
Well,
Oh, you're like a scratched record.
we don't need the money anymore.
I like it there.
You prefer it, don't you?
Don't.
Come on. It's not like you want to start a family with me, do you? Tell me the truth.
You know, I think you need some of these for your nerves.
Where'd you get these? These are my mum's.
Come on, it will be a laugh.
You're tapped, you are.
We deserve it.
Go on then.
Mm. Mm.
Come on.
What?
Come dance with me.
Okay.
Whoa, slow down. Wait.
Come on.
She wants to be called Nanny, not Granny. Granny makes her sound too old. We'll have 2 boys.
Hello?
You're late.
I'll take him to the Sunday League games. We'll watch him play in the sand over there.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Scott. I'm not feeling very well this morning.
You're not going to tell me you're also pregnant, are you?
Remember when we met down by the jetty? It was the happiest day of my life. I'm a manager now. I could marry you, you know. It would be so easy. Mr. and Mrs. Parks, you're practically my wife anyway. Why wait? We could get married right now, right here, right on the beach. I love you so much.
Under the light, the city lies quiet, quiet. A woman cries in desperate silence. Another night cover my mouth, a silent riot. I'm a delusional disaster, a show where I'm the master. Where is the life I've been dreaming of? The happy ever after the TV talks about. Where is the life I've been dreaming of? It seems so easy, it falls beneath me. Quiet, quiet. Somehow it's lonely, somehow it's violent. An alleyway, a shout and heard a silent riot.
So good.
Muted. So, sorry, I was muted. I was just congratulating you, Monica, for the Tide. And I see a lot of overlaps between the first film and the second one, which is the Tide. Both are feminists. Both are set in a historical context as well, but it shows so much relevance with the contemporary world, some of the challenges we face from the cultural constructions that we have in the industrial age, but it's so powerful to go back to history. My first question was for both Liana and Monica. What inspired you to produce this film? Liana, would you like to start first?
So I was raised. Oh, you guys got an echo from me? Is that me?
Yeah, a little bit. Let's.
Hello, hello, hello. Okay. Yeah. So I was raised a lot with my Celtic heritage and a lot with Wicca by my auntie. She was a historian, and so I grew up getting told a lot about there were just 60,000 women alone who were driven into the sea for being wise women and landholders and any type of power from the 1500s to the 1700s. And then basically I was just told again and again that it was a story that I had to make sure people knew about. And so that plus I started to hear about the dancing plagues that happened in the 16th century, where people just started basically going into town centers and dancing in such a frenzy, and people would start to join them and they would dance for days until some of them would fall down dead. And at the same time, there was a lot of repression happening in society. And so that also fascinated me, that we have these repressed aspects of ourselves that come out in really quite extreme ways. And I think that that's also happened for the last, couple of hundreds of years, since there's been this repression of the feminine. And we see it in all areas of society, that there's just so much logic and structure and control, when actually now this feminine is returning and we're kind of beginning to be able to care more about multiple things at once. And so I know just was kind of what interested me. So I wanted to be able to put it into a music video. And I've also been writing a script about it. So I just thought that I could use the music video as like a little teaser of it. And also, Monica, that was really beautiful, and bravo, Sarah. It was really wonderful. I was very moved. I had tears by the end.
Thank you.
I don't know if you can listen to me.
Yeah, I can.
Yeah, Monica, you also show so much challenge, and not only from men. I noticed internal sexism within women, but it's such a learned behavior, right? Like what we learn from all these cultural constructions in favor of, like what's the right thing to do. Monica, you're the director of the film. Would you like to tell us a little bit, like what inspired you to make this film?
I must say, this film was in a 38-hour film project, so it kind of we didn't prepare this from before. So the festival works at that moment we have two categories, two thematics for the film. That in our case was costume drama and family film, and also pop, salsa, and the line. So everything was built in the moment, was writing in the moment, and we decided what in the moment. The actors take their roles in the moment, and I think with a lot of the brainstorming, and I kind of feel like it was not just my creation, but a collective creation. We have some improvisation games as well, exercises, but it's also because it's a film on the 70s, it could be in any time, and the role of the family and also our inner belief about what is our role in society as a woman was there, and was obvious that we need to work on that, we need to show that, and the narrative was built in that market.
Okay, yeah. I'm aware of the 48-hour films, and this film that you see right here, it's also a part of a 48-hour film challenge, and it was screened at Cinema São Jorge. It's such an honor to be able to do such a challenging project, right? Like, you have to think on the spot, like literally co-create the whole film, and it's so beautifully done. But it's not just like something you just created, like out of fiction or something. This is reality that is happening. It's like I could relate to it. Swati, what would be your thoughts on the film, both of them?
Sorry.
Uh, hello, can you hear
Hi.
me?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm still in that mode where I'm just trying to you know understand the depth of both the short film and the video, and I think they both are really impressive. Absolutely feminist, and along with feminist, I feel there it's like a journey of it's about existentialism and a lot of things, but I could resonate so deeply. I'll talk about the short film first, The Tide. And Monica, I was already impressed, but after hearing you made this in 48 hours, it's like really, really commendable. It's just, and I was, it's such a small world. I saw Dr. Parvinder there, I've been connected to her, and she's
Oh,
done a brilliant job. Yeah,
what a
I did.
small world.
Yeah, it's really a small world. I attended one of her sessions on rain dance. There was a live session which I attended, and I've been connected with her. She's such an amazing actress. And Sarah, I want to congratulate you as well. You've done such a great job. Just the way you were eating that tomato, right? It speaks so much about your character. Without any words, just that action of eating that tomato. It was like I don't even need to understand this character. It is just coming out so clearly. It was so crystal clear just by your expressions and your actions. So yeah, I feel it's a very important subject, and you've dealt with it very sensitively, and really hats off. Great work, the entire team for the short film. And now I'll come to Blyth, and Blyth. It was a treat to watch. Yeah, no, seriously, it was such a treat. Uh, and it reminds me of one song. I don't know if you've heard. It's an old song, uh, Ameno by Era. And okay, I mean, yes, it's that feel was somewhere similar, and it is one of my favorite songs. It's one I think 10 years ago or something. Maybe
Okay.
I'll share that link. And that feel was quite similar, but again, at the same time, yours was very unique, especially coming from what exactly a woman is feeling through
Mhm.
what she's going through, and there's you can actually write a lot about uh, what interpretations it could be, but at the end of the day, it is like I could see something as she just wants to be herself and express herself and not just go with society's conditioning and her own conditioning and all the repressed emotions, and everything was just coming out through her dance. And just the
Mhm.
last scene, it was so powerful that everything else vanishes, and she's back. So
Thank
it's
you.
beautiful. It's a
Thank you
great
very
work.
much.
Yeah, Liana, did you do the playback singing? Are you the singer-songwriter for the music
Yeah.
video?
Yeah.
Wow.
So I come from an acting background, and then my father passed away the day that I recorded that song. It was like we finished the song and then he passed away, and I just felt like his energy was really throughout the whole creative process. He was also a filmmaker, and it was just me and this other absolute wizard. His name's Will, and I kind of do more of the solfeggio frequencies and singing and drumming. and he's more of the techie person. As you can tell, I've already had like 3 tech errors within this, so I'm not good on technology, but I'm much more like I like being in the earth and doing that kind of thing. So
yeah, I'm sure your dad is with us, through everything that you're doing. I feel the same with my parents in spirits. So yeah, it's always an honor to fulfill their dreams and to dedicate so much of what we do and to carry on their spirits and their memories and their heart. Sarah, I had a little question for you. Now, a lot of the repression that Liana's music video showed, which is sort of against woman's nature, but you were so in character, Sarah, and at the same time, like you're also as an actress, you're truthfully speaking to the character, and even when you are not speaking, you're emoting, just with cutting the onion, and it was just so sharp, and also how you're chewing the tomato. And also, I loved the camera work, Monica, like where, at one point you don't see, the mother-in-law anymore. It's like, it's not important to see her particular face because she embodies so many other women. I really felt that because at that point it's not about the mother-in-law, Sarah playing that character. It's about everybody, so it's not important to see her face anymore. Sarah, how do you feel about playing this role, and how do you feel about repression, which you're sort of like your characters, I guess, battling with?
So first of all, I also would like to congratulate Liana for the beautiful film and song. I think Liana's work does inform a lot of what my character and my experience as a woman as well. I'm seeing the experience of women in my family and the patriarchy, and you called it repression. I wrote about oppression, but actually it's this the repression of our femininity, right? That through the oppression of these systems put in place for us to disconnect with our, as Liana beautifully portrayed in her video, our natural essence as women. So this character and the scene is full of those hidden messages. This anger, for me, the motivation to play this character. Was at the core this trauma that is passed down generation through generation by women into other women as well, for us having been denied our nature and our choices. And that this just perpetuates this cycle of suffering, because then we don't know different. We didn't know different. So now we do, but we didn't know back then, right? Or probably some of us start seeing, as the daughter-in-law character shows, start seeing different ways of living, of reclaiming our freedom, our choices, breaking the systems in place. So what was beautiful about the scene is that everything is about this. How do you express the cutting of the onion and the chewing the tomatoes? Everything is embedded with this pain that is shown superficially as this anger and this hostility towards the mother-in-law, but at its core is the pain. I think there's a lot of projection here that she sees, she projects onto the daughter-in-law, her own experience that we don't see in the film, but actually Liana's work made me think this is what happened before. To all the women and a lot of women still around the world in other cultures, right?
Yeah, actually, the mother-in-law's character reminded me of somebody else's mother-in-law at a wedding. You know, how she came to my bathroom. You know, sometimes women cross paths in a bathroom and they have the most memorable chats. Well, this is memorable, but not in a very pleasing way. And she was asking, "Oh, do you want to marry?" You know, and then I was like, "Well, you know, I have been in a very beautiful relationship for 15 years, and you know, it's a beautiful spousal relationship, and but you know, she really wanted to know like wedding in a religious way. I'm like, I don't know. I'm happy where I am right now. But she was like, you know, you will get there. She actually told me, she said, she gave all her examples and she said exactly what Sarah's character said, you know, like, it'll happen. You'll get there. You'll see. So, and I was like, okay, the more somebody pushes me, I'm going to push back. Like, I don't see a communication happening. And it was right at the bathroom, you know. So in this particular case, it's happening in the kitchen. And I know there has been a lot of studies, you know, done in the kitchen, you know, the gender relations, and also how, you know, whether it's like corporate capitalism or colonialism, how so much, you know, how so much is in that contested space of the kitchen, you know. So that was very powerful, you know, to use that space. So, Monica, did you have any thoughts on that? Like, was this based on a true story, by the way? Like, I was going to ask both of you, Liana and Monica.
Not directly, but I think everything that happened in the film is based in true stories, because otherwise we could not relate to that. And I think all of us can relate in some way. And for example, I'm 33 years old now, and I remember when I was 29, the people start asking me when I'm gonna have kids, because I was almost 30, and this kind of social concept that women are just complete when they are married and when they have kids. Like, this is being a woman, like having kids, getting married, like is something that we need to deserve and need to give to the world. And people don't know what is other person there. People don't know if I want to have kids, if I have tried already, if I had problems with that. So I think this is microaggression that towards women all the time. Just focus like, what is that to be a woman, and like in my family and in my friends, I could see this kind of violence towards us, and people don't really realize that, because they think like, I don't know, they think it's nice to say, they think they are helping us, and many times this like comes from other generations, from other women, not exactly from men. So it's like all the pressure on us that us we put on us and make us believe like, whoa, I'm not completely happy because I still don't have kids, or still I'm not married. That is completely fine if you want, but who asks us doesn't know who really wants. And I think, yeah, there's like many situations, even like professionally, people don't ask much if we are happy. People think that they know what can make them happy.
Yeah, and of course, I navigated a lot of these contested terrains myself, and I don't know, like, if this would apply to your film, but it's only recently I realized a lot of the behaviors that we see, you know, that's coming from entitlement, you know, I'll call it entitled, you know, identities, basically like imposing and oppressing, and the way it happens is something not necessarily talked about in social justice. Like, we know human rights, we know women's rights, we know animal rights, we know environmental sustainability, but the way it's often like imposed and oppressed, I find it through gaslighting, which is, also mental abuse, basically, and how to puzzle somebody's mind, like basically on one hand, like showering with so many rewards and perks and love and whatever the social perks are, or the emotional like rewards are, but at the same time puzzling that other person that what, this is not your reality, what you're thinking is wrong, you are wrong. and not enabling the person to make a choice of their own and to be happy with what they have. So I feel both Liana and Monica, both of your films are actually timeless. They go back to history, but they are timeless. And I feel like so many people need to watch, and that's why we're supporting the two films today, and enable a space where people can self-reflect and question themselves, like, are they giving into something, are they actually oppressing somebody else, right? So those are my thoughts. Any thought on that, Sarah, Swati?
I think what you just said about one of the things, as I said before, that was very strong for me about my character is this, and as and my experience as well, being a woman, is that there is so much. We carry so much trauma, collective trauma, that um, we pass on this trauma to other women unknowingly. There's a lot of that, and I think what the film The Tide for me really represents is that unconsciousness, that we are unaware of how much still we carry from that pain that we just inflict into other women. I believe that some of us, like this mother-in-law, um, at some point in her life, she did forget what it is to have choice, and that just became her reality. And this dissociation with our core, with our freedom, with our choice. Somehow we some women get into this unawareness and this unconsciousness, and then just inflict this into other women, as if we're not having had the choice ourselves. It's hard to see someone else have the choice that I didn't have. This is all, I think, unconscious. I don't think that anyone would want to inflict damage or pain onto someone else, but all this, as we now hear so much in the social media, talk about trauma, how these cycles of trauma just create more trauma. This is just human behavior, right? So I think that for me was what really motivated me to explore this character. How much is her experience here informing how she behaves towards the mother-in-law? This mirroring.
Yeah. No, thank you, Sarah. Swati, any thoughts?
So I think Sarah, you've touched on a very important subject of dealing with your subconscious bias, as I would call it, and it is something that has been passed on from generations. So it takes a very strong individual to actually stop that and have a hard look at themselves. That am I being a victim of past conditioning or conditioning of generations that has been going on? Because unless people do that, they'll just keep on passing that trauma to further to their daughters, to their daughter-in-laws, especially women, right? We are we tend to be part of so many conditions being put on us that we he said this right, she forgot what it is like to have a choice. she didn't even know that she has a choice, and that she was because she accepted that, as a mother she has to create a family, and it was just passed on without even thinking further. So when her daughter-in-law starts questioning that, that's itself seems like an act of rebellion to her, right? So yeah, there's a lot that just gets passed on without even us realizing what is it, that our minds have been conditioned to believe as the fact, and we don't uh, think further on that, or even, and it's not just people living in patriarchal societies, or it's just women in general just accepting a lot of things just as it is, and not even realizing that they have this conditioning.
Yeah, it's yeah, you said it well, Swati and Sarah, and not even realizing that okay, there is a choice, and listening to our own bodies, and this goes to both men and women, like okay, what do I resonate with, even simple things like okay, what pace of life do I want to have, like do I want to be slow sometimes, do I want to be fast sometimes, what kind of space do I want to be in, which Liana's first short Blyth, it showed very well that like that kind of flow, that pace, like that ability to choose, not just like social roles. It's just like okay, what do we vibe with, and again it goes to both men and women. And when we talk about feminism, it's really about gender equality, and I would extend that to the equality of all female species, all creatures. Liana's music video also shows so many different animals, and it applies to all. I believe that the roots of oppression are 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 common, they overlap. It has to do with a lot of power to control, and you know we're not in the dark ages, we're not in the stone ages, where it's like okay, um, we didn't have much choice, and we're just working with few options to survive. I mean, we're in a very good time where we have so many options to choose and to listen to each other. Sometimes it's enabling a space where okay, we can just listen, and stop talking sometimes. I know. And I know, today, I mean, I'm very fortunate and very honored to be able to like support your films and speak on it. My other question was like about challenges to do this kind of film. I know Monica, you had 48 hours to pull off this project. And Liana, you also worked with some, very different conditions out there. Out in the land, and and so many different scenarios out there, like off like a certain set, right? But what were some of the challenges, Liana, Monica? Did you face any challenges, creative challenges?
You want to go first, Monica?
For me, it was more like because it was the first time I was directing, and in these conditions, it was like I was building the narrative in my mind, and at the same time I need to express that to others, and it was very difficult to because I have the image in my mind, I have the idea in my mind, but it's very difficult to make other people understand what is going on. And our team was like 20 people, like not like paying and stuff. So it was very difficult for me because everything was in my mind, and I wanted to share it, and I wanted people to understand what is the meaning of the film, what you want with us. And sometimes it was difficult to explain the final result because we are building in the moment. So, for example, sometimes the actors were doing like taking the exercise on that. I was like, wow, like that, like go for it, go that direction, and I completely changed what I was thinking before. And everything around was like, oh wait, no, we have to do the kitchen do that. Like, never mind, like because it's like embracing that you are building this together, and you have something inside that's what you want, that's what you need, that's exactly what you want to show. And for me, it was the pressure of the time. We are gonna show my mind, my thoughts in an image, and the people also are gonna tell them like what you need to do. And it was very grateful to feel like everyone embracing that, and even the actors, because at the end some line was not exactly like that, or the character was not exactly like that, and discovering that in the moment. And so it was very challenging, but very great.
Yeah, yeah. I think a lot of the aesthetic choices you made, they were so powerful. Like, in terms of like even the color schemes that you chose, for the interiors or what costumes, like the characters were wearing. So powerful. And I think, somewhere as artists, we want to do like a perfect job, and it's so hard to do that, right? And sometimes you just have to take that leap of faith. You did very well, Monica, extremely well. Very proud. Liana, did you have any challenges to do
Yeah, we had a couple. It was very cold, first of all, and the scheduling that we did, we had, which the producers had done, didn't fit everything in, and I had a little bit of imposter syndrome at the start, which I think maybe feels more of a feminine thing. I don't know why that is, where I looked at it and I was like, oh, we're not going to have enough time to do that, and everyone told me it would be fine. But I went and actually built a Stonehenge in my backyard while we were like, I got some friends to put it up and do it, because I was just like, it's not going to happen. And we ended up using it, and it was a really interesting journey in like trusting your gut and trusting yourself. I think that's another thing that we've been so separated from.
Yeah.
Is and that feels to me, and maybe it's different, but it does feel like a very feminine thing, being in that like primordial, there's nothing that's necessarily going to definitely happen, but going with like the whispers that you're hearing. And I think also just working with so many different personalities under extreme circumstances in a place like Cornwall is very white and very religious, very Christian. And so I think we had like some people who were really curious about it and open-minded, and other people who weren't as open-minded. So I think in the future, I would want to ensure that there's just more of a buffer, which I wasn't as aware of because I had just moved to Cornwall, and I love Cornwall. I think it's a beautiful place. It's just when you have people with very different views coming together, I think I freaked out my neighbors quite a bit at one point when I had like the big fire going and everyone dancing around it. But it's interesting because I think even with what you were saying before, that separation from the feminine in all of us, regardless of whether we're born a woman or a man, or anything else that anyone feels they're aligned to, there is such a separation because there was a danger in being woman. There was like this, we're going to get destroyed. And I think with your film, Monica and Sarah, like that woman turning against woman was a way to stay safe, was a way to be like, look, I'm being the right type of woman. I'm going to be protected. They're not going to come and put me on a pyre. They're not going to send me out into the middle of the ocean and drown me because I'm playing by the rules. And so it's almost this weird, twisted way of, let me protect you. This is the way that you do things. And really, when we go back only like a couple of generations, we had matriarchal societies that were able to really honor the whole community. They've done studies on the gray matter in women's brains, and we're so much better at being able to look at multiple different issues and bring them together. And I think that once they started to demonize the feminine and separate the feminine within that community was when they could really rule over us. And that was when, women also started to turn on each other. And so that they didn't even have to be weapons themselves, the men. They were able to just weaponize women. And I think you see it even today. I mean, when I was growing up, I remember being teased for having body hair, like all those things that were like, you have to be prim and skinny and look this way and tick all these boxes, or you won't be wanted, and God forbid you won't get married and you won't have children, and then you'll be a failure. And, you know, like I'm in my mid-30s. I don't have any kids. When I moved back home, there was almost this level of distrust that I was single at my age. Like, what's wrong with you? You must be broken. And it was such an interesting journey because I actually felt so empowered and free. And I would look at other scenarios and be like, that wouldn't be making me feel empowered. Like, that's your version of it. And I think we get so caught up in like these generalizations of, if you don't fit into what we say, you're not one of us and you must be destroyed. But I do think that's shifting now. So.
Yeah, it's slowly shifting. I think those who want to make a choice for themselves, I mean, they do have a responsibility to find safe spaces that are aligned. And I think a lot of these spaces are very new. And I'm always so fascinated to see, okay, wow, like, you know, there are some great safe spaces, you know, there are like individuals who are aligned and they're progressive, you know, like we're all about progressive arts and education. So I think education has also helped, you know, like I think that's why like I really support women to go for education, you know, whichever level they choose to be in. But the fact that women can have a choice, and both women and men actually, because I've a lot of the oppression that I've received is actually mostly from women, not men. So I have observed internal sexism. So I think, you know, to enable that safe space, it's a part of our responsibility. It's very hard to do. What's your vision with your film in the future, Monica and Liana? Like, how would you like to further reach out, like beyond the film festivals? Like, how do you want to continue to touch people and, you know, communicate, you know, such beautiful messages that you have? Monica?
Just remind me about this about of the toys. Just tell me something a bit awkward that happened during the film. That was one of a guy who was supposed to work with us. He left because I don't know if Sarah knows it. He left because he said the film was too feminist for him, and he didn't agree with the film, so he left the group. And was his choice. That's right, and I'm actually happy that he did that choice. And I don't know.
This happens a lot, yeah. Which guy was it? Like one of the crew members or cast?
Yeah, was a writer.
Oh, okay.
So I guess like that's alright. But that was important that to happen to me because I was like, what is the problem if the film is feminine?
Yeah.
What? Like, like if you're not a feminist, maybe I also don't want to work with you. And maybe why we do film is because we have the choice to show to others what is where we stand. So I have this choice, and we have this choice to show this film, and many people can relate with us and can understand that the choice is not about feeling guilty in society. I was a woman is about freedom as well, and also the Liana video and our film, I think, like is a proof of that.
Yeah. No, I mean, I was just going to add another thought, and Swati, you tell me what you think about it. I do feel that, you know, when we make independent films or any independent art, I feel it's a means of communication, first of all, and it's such a beautiful tool to build community. I feel like independent art is a wonderful communication tool to build community, and I do take a lot of honor, I would say, you know, to even have our film festival as a community. It's all year long. It's not just one annual day, you know. It's a community. We do have Instagram live chats, right? Swati was one of my first Instagram live interviewees, and very honored to have Swati back again on the panel. And we have so many wonderful film artists, who are just part of the community, and it's such a beautiful, support to have, to share that space, that presence, right? Swati, what would you say?
Absolutely, Samita, and that was my first Instagram live as well.
Oh,
Initial
we're still learning
one,
about
I
it.
guess. Yeah, first was but yeah, it was pretty initial, and I feel you've been very lucky for me. Every time we have a discussion or we get together, I even remember for a documentary, the first selection was at your film festival, and
Oh,
then it
yeah,
went
okay,
on
yes.
to it went on to get selected and awarded in like 7, 8 countries now.
Such a
And we have
fantastic documentary. Yes, still on our channel. It's the last. It's the first film festival. Yes, we had actually the very first
it
one.
was the first film festival, and it was and so and then I remember just before going to Cannes, I had a discussion with you. So there's something every time I have a discussion or we get together, it's like something good happens with my life, and it's always lovely connecting with you. And I really admire the forum that you have created. I have made a lot of good connects through your forum, through the festival, through the Instagram chats, and the connections that you have. So hats off to all that you do.
No, it's meant to be a community space. It's a space that I wanted to see for a very long time. And at first, wasn't exactly sure, okay, like which further direction it should take, but I'm like, this is it, I just love that space. I love the vision that, and I'm very proud of all the films that you know we speak about, we share. Some of them are just community screenings, some of them are just Instagram conversations. It doesn't matter like which format, but of course this particular festival that is actually coming up, it's next year in 2024. That is a film festival, and it gets competitive in a very tight space and time for a start. And that's why like I wanted to open up monthly screenings and talks, so that every filmmaker gets the time that they deserve with their films. um, and it's not about like who wins the best award. It's really about like having that space and that time. And really proud of today's semi-finalists, Liana and Monica. Um, any final thought that you would like to share today, about your film, where you want to see your films going? What's your vision?
I would really love to make it into a series. That's the next thing that I want to aim for. Because I
Wow.
think that there's so much juiciness in that part of history, and I think we're seeing more and more stories told from the feminine perspective, and encouraging everyone, like not just women, but everyone, to really embrace that wild femininity. Like that for me, I think it becomes so intersectional. When we start to heal those aspects, then we start to be able to like fill up others from our own cup. We start to connect more to nature. We start to step out of this like capitalist colonial rush, make everything happen. Everything's about money, rather than being like, is it about community? Like what other things are valuable? What other things are actually creating this essence of true abundance? I think that we're really, all the poison's coming up right now, and it's a very intense time. But I do feel that where we're moving is going to be a much more beautiful place for everyone. That's, I don't know, maybe I'm an idealist, but I like it.
Yeah, no. I think also like I think if we sometimes like I have like like a a perfect dream, for a perfect world. And I'm like, okay, slow down. I know, it's not easy to do that overnight. But that's why I like to see possibilities, like not just one ideal possibility. It's like possibilities in the plural sense, So that's wonderful that you're thinking of a series. And would you actually consider screening offline, like with nonprofits? Both of you, Monica and Liana,
Yeah, I'd love to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that would be wonderful, because I feel like, first of all, I mean, just in a very safe and privileged space, I would like to say that, the kind of film festival we have, which is like very niche, and, I don't really see that everywhere. If I did see that everywhere, I would be like, okay, I'll just send, my films there, and that's all I do. But it's like, I wanted to see more of a space like this, both offline and online, so I am like, till that day happens where we have more festivals that are more public, and engaging with the community. I'm like, I'm going to continue, offering that space. I think that's very important. Yeah, Monica, what's your vision with your film?
Right now, I didn't expect the film to go so further, because that was like 1 year ago.
Yes,
We went
it's a
to the
48-hour
festival,
film.
and we didn't win nothing. So I was like, no one understood the film. And then, like, with the time, I started to sharing the film with more people, just not fixing that moment, but like we can continue. Like, people deserve to see that. So right now, it's here, is in this moment, and I'm happy like more people have opportunity to see. I'm looking forward to do other films.
That, yes, we need to tell more stories.
Mhm.
Yeah, for sure. And this is a masterpiece, so do keep, sharing in whichever format, you like, offline, online, and educational institutes. I feel like, sometimes we need a whole like team to actually reach out. Outreach is such a big thing. But, one step at a time. You're here. We're celebrating your films. Congratulations on your nomination as a semi-finalist. We do have a long way to go, and so do keep an eye out for notifications and updates, and just want to reassure that regardless, it's not about, winning the best award. We're actually stepping away from, the top best award, but you do have our support, so that's important. Any final thoughts before we sign off today? It's a Saturday, it's the weekend, so I know everybody should go out there and enjoy it too. Any final thought? Swati, Sarah?
I have many thoughts. It's just been
Okay.
really beautiful to be here talking to you about our feminine, and bringing up all these really important considerations about what is it that we need to heal as a community. And I think both our Monica's and Liana's artwork really show how much more we need to become aware of, to address, and what the beauty that lies there, just waiting to be reclaimed, I think. So I'm really proud as well to see women having these conversations, to see women connecting, and to see women talking about women, and all of us collectively help to heal the feminine, and as Liana said, to bring more nurturing into the world.
Thank you, Sarah. Thank you. Swati, any final word? It's always so hard to say goodbye, but
I just want to thank you, Samita, for inviting me today. And it has been a great pleasure knowing all of you, seeing your work, and it was definitely eye opening, and I had a great time and a lot of thoughts for future. So it was absolutely wonderful time spent. So thank
we had another co-panelist, Sile, and
you. I met her in Cannes, courtesy you.
yeah, so she wanted to join. She had an urgent conference to go to this morning. She's usually with us, beautiful soul, and yeah, she's going to be on the panel at the final film festival. But her heart is also with us, and yeah, Swati and Sile met at Cannes Film Festival. That was a beautiful connection. So I was like virtually there. So super proud, and congratulations once again on all your festival screenings, your nominations, and the path forward. So I'm looking forward to a lot of progress with your films too.
Thank you.
Thank
It's
you.
lovely to connect with all of you, beautiful humans.
Yeah, wonderful. It was beautiful, and Liana, we're also on Instagram. So if you ever wanted to, touch base there, we could. And yeah, we'll continue with our conversations and our vision. So till we speak next time, I wish you a wonderful weekend, wonderful Saturday and Sunday ahead, and we'll be in touch.
Thank you.